Frugal, and today we're going to do a recipe revamp. And the recipe or leftovers we are going to be revamping is going to be some stew. You can use chicken stew or chicken noodle soup or beef stew. I have beef stew that we had a while ago for my husband got sick, so I made some homemade beef stew. And you're just going to literally pile that into a greased baking sheet. Depending on how much stew you have left would depend on how much, how big your sheet would be. And so I'm just going to dump that into a baking. I keep saying baking sheet, I mean baking dish, or a, like a Pyrex 6. And I'm just going to put a little bit of water over mine, just a tad bit, just to help the broth form a little bit, because it kind of congealed a little bit. Oops, sorry. There we go. And the only other thing you need is some biscuit mix. And I have some homemade here. Biscuit mix that I'm going to be using, or not really biscuit mix, biscuit recipe that I'm going to be using. And this is kind of like a biscuit pot pie. So it's a great way to use that leftover stew or hearty soup. And you're just going to make biscuits and form them on top. They don't have to be pretty. They can just be, flattened with by your finger and thrown on top. Kimchi, down. Get down. Tug's like, what are you making? So I'm just forming them as I go. Like I said, they don't have to be perfect. I love using homemade biscuits, so it just makes it taste so much better. And I will be baking this after this, and you just bake it until everything's warmed through, because of course the stew's already cooked. And you can use store-bought biscuits if you want to, or you can use any biscuit recipe you want, really. I prefer the ones that are easier to, like, drop type biscuits, because I feel like they're easier recipes, and I like being able to form them as I go, because then, like, see over here, it's kind of a smaller spot, so I need to make smaller biscuits. Okay, now I'm just going to bake this probably around 350 until the stuff's bubbling, the biscuits are done, and hopefully it comes out nice and yummy. So that is how you use leftover stew or soup to make biscuit pot pie. I'll be back when it's done. Okay, this is the end product of this recipe revamp. Remember, you only need a leftover stew or chicken noodle soup and a biscuit recipe, or you can even use store-bought biscuits if you desire. I just used an easy baking powder biscuit recipe, and I already plated one, and this is what it looks like. Looks delicious. I used a beef stew that we had previously made. It had veggies in it, barley, beef, and everything. And anyways, this is what it turned out. It looks absolutely delicious. It smells delicious. So remember, this is a recipe revamp and how to reuse your leftover beef stew to make a whole new meal. Again, thank you for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and go ahead and share it. And don't forget to subscribe. Remember to live well and live frugal.